Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. If you caught our last pond update, you know that we said we thought we had a slight seep in our pond dam and it wasn't anything too crazy to worry about. Well, now that the spring thaw is over, we realized we have a bigger leak than we thought we did. Let me show you just how much water we've lost in the last 30 days. So sometime towards the end of February, we lost our 2 foot of snow that we had on the ground, and we had a 1-inch rainstorm that happened all at the same time, and it brought our water level from about where it is now to, if you look right over here, you can kind of see that bathwater mark right there. So we have easily lost probably 2, maybe 2.5, almost 3 foot of water in the last 30 days. I want to go get an official measurement because I know as of that last pond update video that the water level was just about where the standpipe is coming up out of the dam there. So I want to go measure from the water level up to there and see if we can see exactly how much water we've lost in the last 30 days. That'll give us a benchmark of roughly how much we're losing per day. And then I've got a product that I want to show you that I think is going to fix it. I'm not sure if it's going to fix it, but it is certainly worth a try, because the other alternative would be to completely dig out the dam, reconstruct it, get a bunch more heavy equipment in here, and that's going to be much more expensive. So before we go that route, I definitely want to try to see if this other product works. But just to show you, so we showed you the bathwater mark right here, but that is much more steeper. So on the shallower parts, you can see how much the water has receded. The water line was right about here, and as we walk through, you can see just how much that water has gone back down all the way around. Right here is probably the most significant drop. Again, this is kind of the shallowest drop right here. So from right here all the way into where the water level is now. There's how much we have coming out of the spring head, and during the spring thaw, this pipe was almost completely underwater. You can again see that bathwater mark going all the way around. So we know we are at least losing as much as what's coming out of that spring and then some through the dam. And I also think we are losing some to evaporation already, even though it's not summertime yet. Now, like I said, this winter, that water level was just about to where the standpipe's coming out of the dam. It was somewhere right in there. So what I'm gonna do is grab my tape measure and just eyeball it from the water level up to what I think is level to where the water level was prior. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's every bit of 2 foot 6 inches right there in 30 days. So where's the water going? Well, we've got a couple of small seeps through the back of the dam right there. There's one, there's one. Looks like right there might be a little bit of one. It's pretty dry and windy out here today, so probably as quickly as the water is seeping out, it's drying. But there's another one right there. And those are kind of the smaller ones. As we move around to the back side of the dam where the dam is the deepest, you'll see it's a little bit wetter. This is probably the worst one right here. If we come over and take a look at this, it's actively wet. I don't see any water running, which is why I didn't think it was that big of an issue, but it does kind of have that, you know, red clay tone to it as the water's seeping through. But yeah, I mean, it is definitely wet and squishy there. And then it's pretty dry throughout here. There's another one right here. The good news is we can kind of see where the water is going, and it's going to help us address the problem. So right here's another one. Let's see, are there any more? I'm just kind of walking around and feeling with my feet to see if I can feel any soft spots. Yeah, it looks like a couple little ones, one right there, one right there, one right there, a couple up there. So knowing where the problem is half the battle with the product that we bought. Let me show you what the product is. All right, so if we lost 2.5 feet in the last 30 days, that means we're losing just a little bit less than about 1 inch of water a day on what is about a 0.6 acre pond. If you've been following pond builds at all on YouTube, you know there's another YouTube channel called Bama Bass. They just got done installing a 5 acre pond, and they had a similar issue with seeps through the back of the dam. and they were losing somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 inch to 1.5 inches of water a day. And they found a product that fixed their problem. And it's not this exact product here, but it's very similar. He started talking about a 2-part polymer that he was using to seal his pond dam. So I don't think he actually mentioned the brand that he was using, but I found it just based on how he described it. It was a 2-part polymer. You Google 2-part polymer pond seal, you find soil flock pretty easily. Now, soil flock is very expensive, and if you start doing some research like I did, you can find some alternative products that are quite a bit less. The one that we found is made by Shellax, and it's called Damit, and it's a polymer, and it doesn't have 2 parts. The one that Bama Bass used, there was a part A and a part B. You had to mix together and disperse out. This one is an all-in-one, and like I said, it's much cheaper. Now, I'm an accountant who likes to play in the dirt. I am not a scientist by any means, so rather than me trying to explain to you how this works and what it does, I'm just gonna read straight from the company's website what it says. So it says, Damit Dam Sealer is an advanced non-toxic polymer powder which can be used to seal leaking dams and ponds. The polymer is applied to leaking dam or pond by scattering the powder across the surface of the water. It's designed with a positive charge which draws it downward through the water toward the bottom of the dam or pond. The water pressure, hydrostatic pressure, which causes the dam or pond to leak, forces the polymer down into the cracks and crevices as it sinks to the bottom of the pond dam. Once activated with water, the polymer will expand in size and bind to other polymer particles to form larger groups of particles, which effectively slows and stops the leak. The polymer will continue to expand over several hours and forms a flexible plug that withstands water pressure. Damit Dam Sealer is insoluble and will form a long-term plug in cracks and porous soils. The polymer stays active when wet and can withstand continuous wet-dry cycles to accommodate rising and falling water levels due to seasonal water level variations in the pond or dam. So you can see how, based on the situation that we have, this product here seems like it would be a perfect fit. Time will tell, but we're gonna go ahead and give it a try. So I bought 16 of these 15-liter pails, which works out to about 4 US gallons, and I'm only gonna put 3 of them down because, as you can see, once I get it down on the surface area here, down around the edge of the pond, and the water level starts to come up, there's probably gonna be some more seeps that are gonna reveal themselves in the top layer. So I wanna make sure I save the other 3 for the top half once we get that underwater as well. Now, what I'm gonna be using to spread it is this Chapin hand seeder. I'm thinking that should work pretty well. So if you guys were wondering what the consistency of this stuff is, it's almost kind of like a sea salt or a kosher salt. So we're gonna go ahead and dump it in the spreader here. All right, so I put 1 full bucket going around the edge here. I think I'd rather err on the side of putting it down a little bit too light and making multiple passes than having it too highly concentrated in one area and not covering the entire surface. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that second pail, finish going around the outer edge. I know that most of our leaks are in the pond dam here, but I'm also kind of concerned that there might be a vein or something down through the bottom. So I do want to cover the entire surface area. So 1 more pail to go around the outer edge there, and then I'm gonna hop in the kayak and I'm gonna see if I can spread that other pail across the surface here. And I know one thing when it comes to this stuff, putting it down too light is like putting it down not at all. So you wanna make sure that you get a good base covering, so if it does find a seep, it's got enough material to plug the hole.
And all us viewers still have a chance to see you fall in.
A lot of you guys keep saying in the comments that Doug comes over here to help out all the time. Well, sometimes he comes over just to watch me fall in the pond.
Now, Adam, where did you say this stuff came from?
I think Australia. And it actually got here pretty quick. I mean, you know, coming from Australia, you'd expect it to be like 3 to 4 weeks out. I think it got here in like 2 weeks.
Here's the money shot, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming.
Yeah, I'm just getting it all over me.
How does it feel to kayak for the very first time in your pond?
I wish it was under better circumstances.
What you're doing is basically what Bama Bass did.
Yeah.
He just went out in his boat and heaved it over the side.
All right, so I think we got pretty good coverage. We went all the way around the dam. We went all the way around the inside. We got a little bit out in the kayak, but we didn't have quite enough to do in and around where the spring comes into the pond. I don't think that's where the leak is though. So I think we should be good, but only time will tell. We did add a water level marker stake, so we'll be able to track as the rain comes into the pond, whether it's going back out or whether we're actually adding depth to the pond. But I wanted to give you guys a quick example of what this stuff looks like. It's like a goo, jelly, I don't know, but that is what's supposed to create your watertight barrier seal on your pond. So as gross as that is, I think it's gonna work pretty good to seal up the dam.
You look like a 2-year-old that just sneezed in your hand.
That's exactly, it looks like snot, yeah. All right guys, anyway, I think that's gonna about wrap this one up. We got the pond sufficiently covered in that Shellax Damit product. I'm hoping that it's going to fix our problem. Like I said, it's pretty gooey. I hope I didn't go through all this for nothing. Recommendation, if any of you guys are going to give this a try, I don't recommend using the hand spreader like we did. What I ended up going to was just taking, some kind of quart-sized container, scooping it and flinging it out, and that way it kind of keeps you a little bit cleaner. But yeah, I will report back to you guys in another month or two, and we'll see. Hopefully the pond level starts to rise and stay rising instead of receding back down when it doesn't rain. If you guys enjoyed this one, give me a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.